Alrighty guys, I think we're going to get started here. So welcome to the 2026 final presentation of the livestock units of the Student Managed Farm powered by New Holland. I am Tanner Lowe, I'm from Meacham, Saskatchewan, and I will be the General Manager of the Purebred Beef Unit for the 2026-2027 academic year. Here at Lakeland College, we acknowledge that the land we gather on is the traditional homeland, hunting, and ceremonial gathering places of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. The Plains Cree, Woodland Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and Nakota Sioux people have practiced their culture and languages on Treaty 6 and Métis Region 2 territories for generations and were the original caretakers of the land. Many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people call this land home today and have done so for millennia. We would like to acknowledge the history we have created together on this land and to be thankful for the opportunity to walk together side by side in friendship, learning from our past and promoting positive relationships from the past, present, and future. There are a few people in the audience that I would like to introduce at this time. As I call your name, if you could just kind of give a little wave. Dr. Alice Wainwright Stewart and the rest of the senior leadership team. Our Board of Governors, Tracy Quinton, Dean, Agriculture Sciences, Darla Stepanek, Associate Dean, Agriculture Sciences, our guest markers, Bevan Hamilton, Chair, Agriculture Sciences, Aidan Grindy, Program Head of the BAT program, Amy Hill, Program Head of the Crop Technology. There are a number of industry representatives who have joined us in the theater and online today. Welcome. We would appreciate your support not only today, but for our students and programs throughout the year. Welcome to the friends and families who have joined us online.
Hello, my name is Rhett Terpstra and I'm from Bornholm, Ontario. I have the honor of being the 2026-2027 General Manager for the Dairy Unit. A couple housekeeping items. Washrooms are out the doors to my left and then down the hall to the right, or out the door to my right and down the hall to the right. We ask that you please turn off your phones or put them on silent so that we don't interrupt the presentations. In case of emergency, there are exits at the top and bottom of the stairs. The muster point is across College Drive in the parking lot north of Alumni Hall. There will be time for questions after each presentation, but in the interest of time, we limit the questions to 3 per unit. If you have more questions, please feel free to ask the students during intermission or after the presentations. We are monitoring the YouTube stream, so if you're watching online and have questions, post them in the chat. We will start the presentations today by welcoming the dairy unit onto the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Dairy Unit's final presentation. My name is Naomi Pertinga from Belmont, Ontario, and I have the privilege of serving as this year's Dairy Unit General Manager. This year, our team is made up of 12 students representing diverse backgrounds, coming from BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario, and India. At the Dairy Barn, our mission is clear: to produce high-quality milk and raise healthy animals by focusing on production and efficiency, gaining skills and knowledge that will support our future in the dairy industry. This year, our team has come up with a couple of key goals: increase cow comfort, reduce lameness within the herd, utilize all available technologies to our full potential, implement our offsetting program efficiently and effectively, maintain consistent SCC and IBC levels, set next year's students up for continued success, and educate the public on the dairy industry through social media. We've also come up with a couple recommendations for next year's team. These include getting together at the beginning of the year to go over all expectations for each coordinator position, as well as getting together at the beginning of the year to go over technology in the DLC to ensure that each team member can fully utilize this new technology, as well as maintain consistent mastitis and lameness monitoring and increasing hygiene. We also came up with a comprehensive SWOT analysis to evaluate key aspects of the operation. Among our strengths include a diverse range of backgrounds and experiences, shared goals, as well as good collaboration and a great responsiveness to feedback. Some of our weaknesses include communication, competition that can affect collaboration, as well as location-related challenges including transportation and service mileage, and mastitis and lameness incidents within the herd. Some of our opportunities for growth include installing new stall mats on the robot side, as we've already installed new stall mats on the parlor side to enhance cow comfort and reduce mastitis, as well as we also see potential for genetic advancement in the coming year, as well as installing new pasture walkways for our pregnant heifers to the DLC to reduce transportational stress for both farm staff, students, and the individual cow. Some of our threats this year include rising input costs, weather-related variability in forage production, protein butterfat payment structure shifting, as well as shifting consumer demands.
Hi, my name is Stevie Qantas. I'm from Edson, Alberta, and I'm this year's Mixed Farm Records and SOP Coordinator. Here at the DLC, we are currently milking 123 cows, 50 on the robot side and 73 on the parlor side. From April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, we've had a total of 60 Holstein heifers born and registered with Holstein Canada. We've also updated 2 of our SOPs, our breeding SOP and our artificial insemination SOP. These have been updated for clarity and communication within the team. For Mixed Farm, we partnered with the crop tech students on manure management, where we decided to split cost based on benefit, specifically looking at the nitrogen content. We spread manure in the fall on 410 acres and are planning to spread again this spring, hopefully the first week of May. The crop tech students also decided on a new style of corn planter this year, where they will use a strip tiller and till the nitrogen in 5 inches deep, follow behind with the corn planter, and after seeding, apply a 5-21-10 furrow liquid nitrogen blend. After seeding, the benefits of doing this are to reduce passes across the field and soil disturbance, minimize tillage, and reduce fertilizer volatilization. The map behind me is the 2026 SMF production plan for the year.
Hi, my name's Amy Hogendorn. I'm from Glencoe, Ontario, and I'm this year's Udder Health and Production Coordinator. As mentioned before, we currently milk 123 cows at the DLC. Over the past year, our quota has fluctuated between 226 and 190 kgs, averaging around 202 kgs every month. The college owns 75 kgs of quota, and the remainder is loaned to us through the Alberta Milk Board. On the graph behind me, the dark blue bars represent the butterfat that we are eligible to ship each month, whereas the light blue bars represent how much kgs butterfat the DLC produced. This next graph shows our protein and butterfat components compared to provincial average. Our butterfat is very similar to the provincial average, and in several months is slightly higher. Our protein levels have remained consistent and close to the provincial average. On this slide, our somatic cell count, we can compare our somatic cell count level compared to the provincial average. As you can see, the DLC remained well below the penalty threshold, and we are also well below the provincial average. At mid-years, I spoke with the issues we were facing with our individual bacteria count. At that point, we were seeing significant spikes that pushed us into the penalty range. This became a major issue for us at the DLC. As you can see in later months, the IBC levels dropped significantly and have remained well under the penalty threshold since the fall. So while the root cause was never fully determined, a combination of system checks, equipment updates, and continued monitoring seems to have resolved the issue.
Hi, my name is Alina Morin. I'm from Vancouver Island, BC, and I am this year's herd health coordinator. This year at the DLC, our SMF group has implemented several improvements on parlor side to enhance cow comfort and overall efficiency. On February 26th and March 17th, Egger Dairy Mart came in and replaced the stall mattress covers on parlor side. This was a necessary upgrade as many of the mattress covers had holes and tears in them, creating the ideal environment for bacteria. Another new improvement was the addition of our post-dip sprayers to complement our 4 existing pre-dip sprayers. The goal of these post-dip sprayers is to reduce cross-contamination between cow to cow in the parlor and to enhance efficiency and consistency during the milking process. Currently, the DLC is experiencing higher than industry average rates of mastitis. The industry average is 1 to 2 cases per month, or 19 cases per 100 cows per year. Currently, the DLC has had 55 cases per 123 cows in this year, which places us above industry average. However, I would like to highlight that in September, November, and October, our cases were significantly lower, with only 1 case above industry average. In late February, our hoof trimmer came and hoof trimmed all 123 cows, both on parlor and robot side. We found we had 79 cows with no hoof issues at all, 31 with digital dermatitis, 5 with white line lesions, 2 with interdigital hyperplasia, 3 with sole ulcers, and 2 with toe ulcers. Our hoof trimmer also gave us recommendations to help with our hoof issues, and we have put those into use. Instead of running a foot bath 2 days a week, we now run one 3 days a week, and we have also started adding soap to our copper sulfate foot bath to help it adhere to the hoof.
Hi, my name is Kaylin Charlton. I'm from Brantford, Ontario, and I'm this year's reproduction coordinator. This year in the DLC, we're currently using various technologies to assist in heat detection to ensure cows are being bred at optimal time to promote conception and no heats are missed. Our robot group has Herd Navigator, while both of our milking groups and our dry cows are using the DLL behavior analysis tags. In the barn, we use these tags to track animal activity, rumination, and location, while in the dry cow shed, we're only able to track activity and rumination. Our heifers are using the Sense Hub collars as the previous sensors from the dairy reach the heifer shed. This year, we saw some fluctuation within our conception rates for both cows and heifers, as seen on the graph behind me. We saw a dip in September and October as our student breeding team transitioned into breeding. We saw a dip in our cows in January as we altered our feed ration for the lactating cows to incorporate more energy. We saw a dip in March as not all of our March breedings were able to be checked at our last herd health on April 2nd. We also saw seasonality play a role in some of these fluctuations and are hoping that as we transition into feeding more C18 fat, it will aid in reproductive cycling as it's a bypass fat. From April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, our cow conception rate was 44% compared to the industry average of 42%. Our heifer conception rate was 45% compared to industry average of 58%.
Hello, my name is Dorian DeLang and I'm this year's genetics coordinator. This semester we introduced 6 new bulls to use on the cows at the dairy industry. These bulls focused on improving mammary system, feet and legs, as well as maintaining balance throughout the herd. This year we also focused on using sexed Holstein semen and beef semen due to the high increase in beef calf prices. Due to this, we did not have to buy any conventional semen.
Hi everyone, my name is Sukhmandeep Singh Gill. I'm from Punjab, India. I'm this year calf and heifer coordinator for the dairy unit. This year we had total 127 newborn calves, out of which 67 are heifers and 60 bull calves. Our death rate this year was 3.8%, which is lower than the dairy industry average. We also had 80% unassisted calving, which is a good sign that our heifer development and size selections are working well. In terms of performance, our cows are doing really well. Our average daily gain is about 1.85 pounds per day, which is close to and slightly above the industry average of 1.7 pounds per day. The birth weight average around 99 pounds, which is slightly higher than the normal. For our pneumonia cases this year, they were low, and we only had a few cases in spring and a small increase in January. These cases are likely due to the weather changes. For our scour cases this year, they were also low, but there were small increases in May, October, and again in February and March. These increases are likely due to the seasonal stress and weather changes.
Hi, I'm Dira Bauer from Barhead, Alberta, and I'm this year's Transition Cow Coordinator. As Transition Cow Coordinator, it is my role to monitor cows and heifers 3 weeks before and after calving, focusing on metabolic disorders, stress indicators, and overall cow comfort to support a smooth transition into lactation. From April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, we transitioned a total of 132 cows and heifers through calving. Out of the 132 cows, 112 experienced no transitional issues. We reported 9 abortions, 5 cases of milk fever, 1 case of ketosis, 2 cases of metritis, and 6 retained placentas. While monitoring our dry cows, we had a suspected case of neosporosis on a cow who presented all the signs and symptoms. We are happy to report a negative test result, and this is no longer a current concern within the dry cows, allowing us to rule out infectious and contagious causes of abortions. One key issue identified this year was magnesium deficiency. These cases initially presented as milk fever, however, blood tests confirmed magnesium deficiency was the underlying cause. This resulted in 2 deaths and 2 additional cows affected. In response, our team added magnesium to the dry cow ration to create a sufficient availability, and we will closely monitor our dry cows. Through consistent monitoring, early intervention, and close collaboration with our vet and nutritionist, we aim to support a smooth transition into their lactation.
Hi, my name is Blake Stanton. I'm from Ilderton, Ontario, and I'm this year's feed management coordinator. This year, our corn silage yields were 9.8 ton per acre on LC13 and 6.5 on LC15-16. These were lower due to a weird weather year here in the Vermilion area, with the main factor being a frost in June that hurt both the quality and the yield. And on LC15-16, we suffered gophers that ate a bunch of bear speed, leaving bare spots within the field. Due to this decreased yield, we had to feed more barley silage than corn silage, and due to our lower quality, we've seen increased ration costs. Right now, our ration costs are at $12.98 for our lactating cows, $9.68 for our close-up dry cows, $3.66 for our far-off dry cows, $3.31 for our pregnant heifers, and $2.26 for our heifers. Currently, we're transitioning to feeding more C18 fats from C16 fats, and this will lower our ration costs.
My name is Owen Zomer. I'm from Laird, Saskatchewan, and this year I'm the Range and Forage Coordinator. Here's a map of our pastures. Pasture A is our heifer pen, which houses the pregnant heifers. Pasture B is the parking lot pen. And Pasture C is a dry cow pen in which the far-off dry cows have access to. Here is a chart of our amortized grazing costs per year. Seed is $53.33. Fence repair is $300. Water is $135.96. Utilities is $520. Labor is land taxes is $1,100, and labor is $456.25. Here's some information about our annual pasture maintenance. Seed is amortized to set aside money each year for rejuvenation. Land needs to be reseeded once every 5 to 6 years. And right now, our total grazing cost in a year is $2,565.54. I will also now be sharing some information about a new program we've been trying called Catalytics. It takes information from Delpro, Dairy Comp, and Herd Navigator and puts it into one platform, which makes it very user-friendly, and we can access all the information about the DLC.
Hello, my name is Stein Bax. I'm from Waterford, Ontario, and I'm this year's finance coordinator. This year, our income comes to $1.8 million. Our largest income was with milk sales at $1.6 million, as well as our cull cow sales at $82,000, as well as our calf sales at $64,000. This year, for our budget variance for our income, our largest difference is in our milk sales, where we are over by $210,000 over than we predicted, as well as our cull cow sales, where we are $52,000 over than we predicted, as well as our calf sales, where we are $50,000 over than we predicted. This year, our total expenses comes over to $1.5 million. Our largest expense is our nutrition at $819,000, as well as our milk deductions at $173,000, as well as your supply and repair costs at $172,000. This year, for our budget variance for our expenses has our largest difference in our supply and repair costs, where we are over by $72,000, as well as our nutrition, where we are $55,000 over, as well as our vet and medical, where we are $29,000 over. This year, for our financial summary, for a cost of production of 1 kg of butterfat costs us $17.91. For 1 kg of butterfat, we receive $21.17. This leaves us with a profit for our 1 kg of butterfat at $3.26. This year at the DLC, our total net profit it was just under $300,000. This year, our point of interest are supply and repair costs due to our high inputs with our new technology in the DLC, as well as our nutrition from our low forage quality, increasing our supplementation, as well as our vet medical due to our mastitis, as well as other health issues that we're being proactive with.
Good afternoon. My name's Shawnee DeJong. I'm from Mitchell, Ontario, and I had the pleasure of being this year's Public Relations Coordinator. Our main focus this year was managing our social media presence, increasing our engagement and our audience reach, and representing the dairy industry in a way that educates the public. Throughout the course of the year, we saw strong growth among all of our social media platforms, with a 6.8 thousand following increase on our Facebook account, a 3.3 thousand following increase on our Instagram account, and our top performing reel, That's Not a Two-Person Job, received over 1.3 million views and 22,000 likes. Our most impactful initiative was our Adopt a Calf program. Students from local elementary school classes were able to adopt a calf from the dairy unit and receive photo and video updates throughout the experience. This was a great way to build early connections to agriculture. Overall, our goals were to educate the public, grow our audience, and showcase the story of our farm, and we're proud of the impact that we made.
We would now like to thank Webb's New Holland, Madison Smith, Megan Cosson, Jessica Emmett, Darla Stefanik, Tracy Quinton, and everyone else who has helped us this year make it a successful year. We will now open the floor to questions. Yes. The question was on our mastitis cases and whether or not we culture our mastitis cases, and if we've seen any advancements through that. I'll pass this question on to Alina Morin, our Health and Treatments Coordinator.
Yeah, so as soon as we get like a high CC or one of the milkers alerts us, we culture it right away and see what they have, and then we either treat with Spectromass or Cephalac, depending on what it is. We haven't seen like a significant rise in whichever case. We do treat usually with Spectromass first, though. Does this answer your question?
Yes. So the question is regarding our cost per 1 kilogram of butterfat, and if we took deductions off of that. I'll pass this question on to our finance coordinator, Steinbachs.
It was in our expenses, so it was indirectly taken off, but it was just in our list of expenses, so it just had its own category where it was set in. Does this answer your question?
Yes, Bevan.
With your butterfat being under
Yeah, okay, so the question was on our butterfat and it being a little bit under industry average. And if we have any suggestions for next year, I'll pass this question on to our udder and production coordinator, Amy Hugedorn.
So our butterfat was never actually really lower. It was actually in several months like slightly higher. But with that payment shift, we also don't really want to increase our butterfat at this point. Does that answer your question?
I would like to thank the dairy unit for their presentation and would now like to call upon the Roundup committee for their presentation.
Hi, my name is Porto Okoski. I'm from Kenora, Saskatchewan, and I'm one of this year's Roundup coordinators for the Purebred unit. This year, the Roundup committee is composed of 6 members from 4 different units. Peyton Yurkowski and Elena Van Newland from Equine, myself and Brooklyn Van Sickle for Purebred, Regan Sargent for commercial, and Nicole Nenzi for extensive grazing.
Hi, I'm Nicole Nenzi, and I'm this year's Roundup coordinator for extensive grazing. Last year's team left us some recommendations. First off, they recommended that we put windbreaks behind the bleachers, and we did that, and we found that it worked well, and we'll be recommending it again for next year. They also recommended to include all SMF units in the sale, and we did, but dairy did not have anything to sell that justified joining. Next, they recommended to keep the sale at 3 p.m., which we did, and we found this time works well. And lastly, they recommend having one photographer for all units, which we did not do due to units wanting specialization for their animals.
Hello, my name is Peyton Yurkowski. I'm from Tofield, Alberta, and I'm a member of the Equine unit. On the screen behind me is a breakdown of my committee's short-term and long-term goals. Our short-term goals included creating save-the-date cards, focusing on budgeting and pricing, exploring past sales, and creating a sale day timeline. Our long-term goals included being organized prior to our sale, expanding our buyers, maintaining good communication among our units, and our lots selling over reserve bid price. Our committee completed all of these goals with the exception of save-the-date cards, as upon further inspection, we found that they did not benefit the prior years as much as we had originally anticipated. This is a breakdown of the different advertisement methods we used throughout the year. Aside from the extensive advertising our units did on their own social medias, we started with hanging posters, getting our sale videos uploaded onto Lakeland College's official YouTube and website, as well as distributing catalogs around Vermilion, surrounding vet clinics and auction marts, and mailing them to past buyers and interested personnel. We also created a Facebook event for the first time, which we believed helped generate even more interest in our sale.
Hello everyone, my name is Brooklyn Van Sickle. I'm from Old Alberta and I'm a member of the Purebred unit. For our sale reflection this year, we had a very strong sale topping all markets and averages of previous years. We also had used previous sale lots for advertising purposes to draw attention to our sale early in the year. We are also recommending to use the same sale setup as it had a great atmosphere for our buyers, as well as we are recommending to keep our preview and sales start at the same time. For our inventory sold, we sold 12 purebred bulls, 13 commercial open heifers, 5 equine colts, and 9 bred heifers, totaling 39 animals. We would also like to give a shout out to our 4 student buyers this year.
My name is Regan Sargent. I'm from Vermilion, Alberta. I'm from the commercial team. This year, over all 4 units, we totaled $326,800 total made. This year, we followed a budget, our budget being $15,225, with our largest categories being DLMS, catalogs, as well as picturing and videoing. We were over budget in 3 categories. This is due to the increased cost of these services and inflation. Overall, though, we were just over $2,000 under budget. We've also made a budget for the 2026-2027 Roundup Committee. We have increased the budget to account for inflation and the increase of these services, and their budget will be $16,425.
We have also made recommendations for next year's team. First, we recommend to use the same sales setup as we had this year, as we found that it was appealing and worked well with the number of people we had. Next, we would like to recommend to continue to invite previous year buyers, as it promotes loyalty and repeat buyers. Next, we'd like to recommend to put the videos on the DLMS at least 2 weeks before the sale, as we found 1 week was too short. And lastly, we would like to recommend to keep the Facebook event again, as we believe that it could grow throughout the years and is a good way of advertising.
The Roundup Committee this year would like to thank all the bidders and buyers of the Roundup sale this year. Without the continued support of new and past buyers, the Roundup sale would not be possible. We'd also like to thank New Holland Agriculture, senior leadership, advisors, farm team, and the sales team. We'd now like to open the floor to any questions.
I would now like to thank the Roundup for their presentation, and on behalf of Caleb Peters, who cannot be with us today, I would like to invite the commercial team up for their presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Blake Behrman. I'm from Grassy Lake, Alberta, and I am this year's general manager. Behind me are the members of the 2025-2026 commercial beef team. We have a wide range of members spanning from BC all the way to Manitoba. Although we all come from very different backgrounds, each individual plays a crucial role in the success of our team. Earlier this year, we created a mission statement that we believe lines up with our goals. Our unit is committed to producing quality beef through student-managed decision-making and hands-on learning, while strengthening connections across the agricultural industry. Earlier this year, we also made a SWOT analysis to get a deeper understanding of this commercial beef enterprise. First off, starting with our strengths, we found that our biggest strengths was our large team with our diverse backgrounds, as well as our large herd and our team dynamic. Moving on to the weaknesses, we found that our biggest weakness was our high open rate, as well as our online communication and the annual turnover of students every year. Moving on to opportunities, the biggest opportunity we found was these high current market prices, as well as our extensive data collection here at the college. And finally, our many industry connections is also an opportunity for us. Moving on to our threats, one of the biggest threats is the public perception of the cattle industry, as well as the high possibility of drought and disease.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Bentley. I'm from Thorsby, Alberta, and I am this year's facilities coordinator. Our previous recommendations from last year were to maintain 2 meetings a week, have a herd tracks information session at the beginning of the year, to create organized groups when we work with the herd, to explore opportunities to work with the local 4-H clubs, and to arrange a fall pasture tour. We have completed all but one recommendation as we had a fall pasture tour arranged, but our cows came home sooner than we expected.
Good afternoon. My name is Rylan Lehman. I'm from Vermilion, Alberta, and I am this year's mixed farm coordinator. In 2024, LC45 was put into a rejuvenation phase due to this field's poor soil health and compaction issues. The soil on LC45 is very sandy, and every year before the rejuvenation phase, it was planted with an annual crop, so there is no root system to help protect the soil from erosion. The goal for this piece of land is to be able to graze cattle on it or to cut the hay. Then, in spring of 2024, they decided to broadcast seed it with a perennial blend. We then got a really big windstorm and it dispersed all of the seeds. They then decided to go back and reseed it with the same perennial blend, this time direct seeding it along with a nurse crop of oats with the goal of keeping the seeds in the ground. The reason they chose a nurse crop of oats is because it'll help establish the plants and also protect them. It is also an annual crop, so it'll grow quickly and not grow back the following year. Then, in the fall of 2024, they decided to bale the oat crop, and it is now being fed to the livestock at the bison. In 2025, it was decided to not let any animals graze LC45, so they did not risk damaging the new plants. But then in early June, there was a concern of some perennial weeds growing like lamb's quarters and kochia, so in order to prevent the seeds from spreading, they decided to silage it and got 330 ton off of 84 acres. This silage is currently being fed to our cows, and we were hoping to be able to graze this piece last fall, but we could not due to the fact that there was a new fence being built, but we hope to be able to graze this piece this summer.
Hi, my name is Tori Clapstein. I'm from Beaumont, Alberta, and I'm this year's Range and Forage Coordinator. This coming summer, the commercial beef herd is expected to graze approximately 1,116 acres across both college land and leased pastures. Our replacement heifers will be sent to LCP 27 after we pull our bull, and they'll join the purebred replacement heifers, where they'll graze on various paddocks on this quarter throughout the summer. Our cows will be sent to LCP 28 at the beginning of June for approximately 2 weeks before they get sent to their summer pastures. On the screen behind me shows some of the lease land that we had the opportunity to lease starting this year that is located just north of town. It is approximately 829 acres, and we are planning on cross-fencing each pasture, as is highlighted in green, to promote rotational grazing practices. We'll be sending 57 cows to lease land number 4, and they'll make their way through lease land number 3, and they'll finish their summer grazing on lease land number 2. The remaining 35 cows will be sent to lease land number 1, where they'll spend the duration of their summer. We are anticipating to get approximately 136 grazing days, in which after our cows will be sent to aftermath grazing, which is on crop stubble or barley regrowth. Our summer grazing estimated cost is $41,955 at $2.73 per head per day. The $2.73 per head per day is a calculated average that factors in the cost of the lease land as well as the opportunity cost to graze college pastures. It also accounts for labor, water and fence repairs, as well as land tax. Our aftermath grazing costs us $5,085 at $1.50 per head per day over a total of 30 grazing days. This gives us a total 2026 estimated grazing cost of $47,040.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brooke Smith. I'm from Shaunavon, Saskatchewan, and I'm this year's team bonding coordinator. We made a goal at the start of the year to have one team bonding per month. This semester, we played volleyball, steak night at the Legion, and dodgeball with our next year's commercial team. I'm also this year's risk management and current events coordinator. As a team, we looked into price insurance on our calves and didn't purchase it because of 2 reasons. The first reason is because our team did not have a budget and the current and future prices are so high.
Good afternoon. My name is Bo Lavoie, and I'm this year's marketing coordinator. This year we sold all of our animals at the Vermilion Livestock Exchange. We decided to sell them here after looking at several different auction marts and seeing that the prices were similar at the Vermilion Livestock Exchange, which comes out cheaper due to the lower trucking cost, And we also have a good relationship with Jesse Laws at the Auction Mart, who gave us a tour of the pre-sort when we sold our 38 steers in the fall. All of our animals hit the numbers we targeted, as well as we made break-evens for our steers at weaning, 30 days post-weaning, and 120 days post-weaning, which showed that we're better off to sell straight off the cow.
Hello, again, my name is Regan Sargent from Vermilion, Alberta, and I am the Roundup coordinator for the commercial team. This year, the commercial team only sold 13 of our expected 14 animals. This is due to one failing a repro exam before sale day. With this, though, we made just under $64,000 with an average just over $4,900. We'd like to thank our buyers, and this year we had 2 new buyers and 2 repeat buyers, with our new buyers being JW Cattle Corp and Franco. Franco is also a student at Lakeland College. For our past buyers, we had Robert Peltzer and Scott Anderson. Scott Anderson has been a supporter of Lakeland College and the commercial team in the past. Some of the animals he has bought has moved through his program and been sold as breds in his sale. Again, we are very pleased with how our sale went this year, and would like to thank all of our buyers and everyone else who made the sale possible.
Hello, my name is Keely Foster. I'm from Norquay, Saskatchewan, and I am this year's nutrition coordinator. Located behind me is our cow's lactating ration. It has an overall TDN of 60% and a protein of 10.8%. A few things I'd like to point out about this ration is that the barley silage is quite high at 60 pounds. This is due to poor yields on our corn silage this year and our beef herds being limited to using primarily barley silage for the year. This would also include why the price of our ration is more expensive than last year, as the cost of feed has gone up, and not being able to use corn silage caused us to supplement with more expensive energy sources to meet an appropriate energy for a lactating cow. On March 31st, we transitioned our cows into a flushing ration that consists of 6 pounds of barley grain and increased the TDN to 63%. This means that the energy was increased to increase the nutritional plane to promote cycling. Layla and Cash from the Purebred unit will be covering our pre-calving ration and our heifer ration. One thing I'd like to say about our heifers was that they were on a greenhouse gas emissions trial this year, and they were being supplemented with a small amount of oats as well.
Hi, my name is Andrew Mears. I am from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and I'm this year's Herd Tracks and Records Coordinator. Here at the college, we use gold measures to evaluate our herd's production and compare it to industry standard. This year, our growth rate was 47.4% of dams weight, which is above the industry standard of 43%. The open rate of our herd, which we preg-checked on October 25th and 26th of 2025, was 11%. This is above the industry standard of 4%. Our calving season began on January 6th and came to an end on March 22nd, giving us a length of calving season of 75 days. This is above the industry standard of 63 days. However, we still have 2 cows to calve due to a management decision made by our group to keep 2 cows that were bred after our 63-day breeding cycle while on rental pasture. Based on what the vet said during preg checking, these cows will calve in the middle of May. Our death loss this year was 4.6%, and we are happy with this as it is only 0.6% higher than the industry standard of 4%. This year, we weaned our heifer calves on September 15th, and we are very happy with how they're doing coming home from pasture, with an average weaning weight of 699 pounds. This is the highest the college has seen in the past 5 years. We then weaned our steer calves on September 22nd, and we are once again happy with how they're doing, with an average weaning weight of 724 pounds.
My name is Will Breckner. I'm from Kalonze, Saskatchewan, and I'm this year's reproduction coordinator. This year, our team needed to buy a heifer bull. We were looking for a bull with good feet structure, is smooth walking, a clean front end, while also having a low birth weight and a weaning weight of about 700 pounds. We believe this bull we bought from Nested Lake Angus fits our criteria. Our breeding season started on April 7th when we let our 4 bulls out with the cows on LC13. The 4 bulls consist of 3 Simmentals and 1 Angus. Our heifers did not go out with the heifer bull until April 8th. Is because they're still in the greenhouse gas emissions trial. Our breeding season is 63 days, which is 3 cycles. This year, our team rented out 11 cows to be embryo transfers for the purebred team.
Hello, my name is Jalen Schneider. I'm from Daysland, Alberta, and I am this year's secretary. Our team's short-term goals included weighing calves consistently every 2 weeks, maintaining an average daily gain of 1.3 pounds on our replacement heifers, and calling for temperament when selecting our breeding females. These goals were accomplished over the course of the year. Our long-term goals include aim for a 96% conception rate in the herd, aim for a death loss lower than 4% from calving to weaning, improve conformation through genetic progress, and aim for 70% of the herd bred in the first cycle. These goals will continue to guide future teams. This year, all goals were fully met with just our death loss slightly above industry standard.
Hello, I'm Braxton Himmelsbuck. I'm from Good Soul, Saskatchewan, and I'm this year's treatments coordinator. So far this year, we've treated for pneumonia, foot rot, lameness, an infected ear, and a couple infected testicles. We worked alongside Dr. Tim Goodbrand at the Vermilion Vet Clinic and followed the SOPs he provided us to treat all our animals accordingly. 160P was a calf we treated multiple times throughout the month of March for an infected ear. Our first course of action was to treat with Bovcam and bimycin. Our second course of action was to lance the ear and flush it out with iodine solution. Our third course of action was to treat with oral meloxicam and penicillin. He's currently on the mend. Please refer to pages 22 and 23 in the booklet for a further breakdown.
Hi, I'm Bodie Duke. I'm from East End, Saskatchewan, and I'm this year's health coordinator. Here at Lakeland College, we follow a vaccine program. Our cows for their pre-calving vaccine was ScourGuard, which prevents from scours, and Cattle Master, which is a killed vaccine that is given pre-calving to prevent the cow from aborting her calf. Our replacement heifers were given the same pre-calving vaccine. They were given 2 doses of ScourGuard because this was the first time they were given this vaccine. At weaning, our replacement heifers were given Bovishield Gold 1-shot, which prevents from IBR, and Ultrabac 7S, which prevents from blackleg. And they were given their booster at the start of March for their pre-breeding vaccine. Our bulls were given Bovishield Gold 1-shot and Ultrabac 7S before we put them out with our cows to get bred. All mature animals, including our replacement heifers, were given Ivamec to prevent from lice. On March 30th, our unit got together and branded our calves, where they received Bovishield Gold 1-shot and Ultrabac 7S, along with oral meloxicam that acts as an anti-inflammatory, and all steer calves got an Ralgro implant. At birth, our calves got Nasalgin, which protects from viral and bacterial pathogens, and they also received VitaFirst to ensure they got their vitamins.
Hello everyone, my name is Dakota McNeil Fluker. I am from Smoky Lake, Alberta, and I am this year's inventory coordinator. This year our herd consists of 88 cow-calf pairs. Therefore, 4 were rented to the purebred team for ABO calves, and 1 was rented during the calving season. We also have 16 replacement heifers, 5 herd bulls, 2 dry cows due to the loss of 2 calves in March, and we have 2 bred cows that have yet to calve.
Hi everyone, my name is Jane Stafford. I'm from Urban, Alberta, and I'm this year's finance coordinator. The slide behind me shows a breakdown of our income from April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026. Our total income this year was $338,527. A few key areas I would like to highlight is our steer sales, which came in just under $166,000, and our Roundup income, which came in just under $64,000. Our cull cow sales were just under $69,000, as we sold more cows as a result of a higher open rate as well as culling for temperament. Please refer to page 25 in the booklet for a further breakdown of our income. Here we have what we were budgeted to make versus what we actually made. Due to the strong market prices, we exceeded our projected income in 6 areas. Heifer sales fell below budget as we sold the remainder of our heifers on April 8th, which falls after the financial cutoff for this year. Moving on to our expenses, our total expenses this year were $210,786, with our largest expenses being feed and bedding at $87,814, pasture rent at $41,454, and overhead costs, which includes utilities, labor, and equipment rental. Please refer to page 25 in the booklet for a further breakdown of our expenses. Here we have our budget variance for our expenses. As you can see on the slide, we're over budget in multiple areas, which was largely due to the increased cost in this year's market. An area that I would like to note is our Roundup expense, which was over budget as our team decided to consign 4 lots instead of the budgeted 3, which in turn generated us more revenue. A few points of interest I would like to address is first our pasture rent, which was over budget. This was due to the fact that we included an opportunity cost for grazing college land, as well as a higher land rental rate, which was due to a faculty and farm staff decision that was made to take the opportunity to rent available grass instead of dry letting our cows. Another area of interest is our feed and bedding exceeding the budget. This was due to the higher cost of rations from supplementing more expensive feed. And finally, for livestock purchases, we were budgeted $10,000, but due to the strong bull sale prices, our unit proposed an additional $5,000 to secure a bull that would fit our criteria. This proposed $5,000 was granted from existing revenue. We ended up purchasing a bull for $13,000 and one calf for $1,000 after losing one during the calving season. Our unit's cost of production this year was $2.97 to produce 1 pound of calf. This is 37 cents higher than last year due to the increased cost in this year's market. Please refer to page 24 in the booklet for a further explanation on our cost of production. Finally, we are proud that our unit had an overall profit this year of $127,741.
My name is Marcia Hofer. I'm from Armstrong, BC, and I'm this year's research coordinator. The University of Alberta is conducting a multi-year study on greenhouse gas emissions in cattle with Olds College, Dalhousie University, and Lakeland College. Lakeland College is currently on year 2 of the trial with the aim of providing data on 30 animals every year. This year they used 17 of our replacement heifers, with the remainder of the animals sourced from the extensive grazing SMF unit. Data collected for this trial included RFI, average daily gain, and daily intake from the Vitelli feed bunk. Our heifers were eating 31 pounds as fed and gaining 1.3 pounds per day. This could be valuable information for next year's SMF unit to determine if RFI is something they want to consider in heifer classifying. Fecal sampling was done to see if feces is correlated to gas emissions. The college also performed ultrasound imaging to measure carcass quality and fat disposition, as well as genomic testing via tissue sampling to see how genetics play a role in emissions. Please visit the article on the next slide for more information from the U of A trial, or you could visit our Facebook or Instagram page. Scroll down to the reel we made, which explains the research trial, the Vitelli feed bunks, and the green feed system. Please note that the University of Alberta will not be releasing its data until later this summer.
Hi everyone, my name is Annika Sund. I'm from Woodlands, Manitoba, and I am this year's Public Relations Coordinator. Behind me here are 3 goals that I set for myself and followed throughout this year. To maintain consistency, I would utilize scheduled posting and track activity on our Meta Business Suite app. All posting was done through our Instagram as it was my main focus, and cross-posted to our Facebook. And lastly, for our one educational video, this was accomplished twice over, showcasing our research trial heifers and our snow insulation on our replacement heifers. For our second semester, our top post on our Instagram was setting up for our annual Roundup sale. It got 302 likes and just over 11,000 views. On our Facebook, it was ultrasounding and repro scoring our heifers and the Roundup heifers. It got 247 likes and just under 13,000 views. From the time I took over in September until now, I have been tracking our growth of our platforms, both Instagram and Facebook, through the Meta Business Suite app. It showed on our Instagram that we gained 215 followers over the course of the year, and viewing our content over 300,000 views. 2/3 of which are non-followers viewing our content. To follow along, please follow our Facebook at Lakeland Commercial Beef and our Instagram at LC Commercial Beef.
We also created recommendations for next year's team to help ease them into their new role of SMF. Our first recommendation is that they continue to have 2 meetings a week. Good communication is important for a well-run team. Our second recommendation is that they take a fall pasture tour. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have one in the fall, but we've heard that it's a great icebreaker from teams in the past. Our third recommendation is that they evaluate the herd and cull anything that doesn't belong. Our fourth recommendation is that they look into RFI data when selecting replacement heifers next year. And our final recommendation is that they continue to strongly use herd tracks and make sure all the data is up to date. Finally, we know that there's been a lot of people who have helped us out throughout this year, so I'd like to send out a few thank yous. First off, I'd like to thank our advisor, Kyle Hafner, who has helped us out a lot throughout this year. Next, I'd like to thank farm staff, which includes Chris Lehman and Paul DeHoy. And finally, I'd like to thank all of Lakeland faculty who has helped us out through these past 2 years. Thank you very much. We now open the floor to any questions that you may have. Yes. Yeah, so the question is on our open rate and how it continues to get higher and higher. I'll hand this off to our herd tracks coordinator, Andrew Mears.
Yeah, so the reason we had a higher open rate this year was due to the fact that our replacement heifers came up with a very high open rate. 5 out of 16 came up open. And after looking into this, we believe it was due to water and mineral quality and availability while on pasture. To ensure this doesn't happen again, Keeley has been working with the nutritionist to ensure they are receiving adequate minerals, as well as our farm staff will be checking waters every 2 days to ensure they have proper water. Does this answer your question?
Yes. That's a great question. The question was about why we used a killed vaccine rather than a modified live, and I'll hand this over to Bodie Duke.
So yeah, we gave it pre-calving, because we're processing them and giving them scour guard. So if we gave them like the live vaccine, we would have to wait till like branding, and then it was just another processing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, over there. So the question is about something I said in our mission statement about how we continue to strive to produce quality beef. And I can answer that question for you. Here at Lakeland College, we are VBP Plus certified. And so a part of that is making sure that we're following all the withdrawal dates and making sure we're taking all of the numbers down and it's all organized. As well as on the beef side of things, we look into genetics and continue to grow our weaning weights and continue to improve our herd through genetic progress. And that's kind of how we try ensure that we're producing quality beef. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Thanks to the commercial beef for their presentation. As I said at the start, my name's Tanner Lowe. I'm from Meacham, Saskatchewan, and I will be the general manager for the Purebred unit for the 2026-2027 term. I would now like to invite the Purebred team up for their presentation.
Good afternoon. My name's JC Best. I'm from Carmen, Manitoba, and I'm this year's general manager for the Purebred unit. Pictured behind me is my team, consisting of 16 members from Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Mexico. Our herd vision is to raise functional, high-quality cattle to suit the needs of both purebred and commercial breeders while advancing student learning and management. At the beginning of the year, our team sat down and selected 4 short-term goals and 4 long-term goals. Throughout both semesters, we've successfully progressed towards achieving these goals by ensuring all tasks were clearly completed to align with these objectives. Further details on how each goal was achieved will be provided throughout the rest of our presentation. Last year's unit left us with 6 recommendations that we have applied to our unit. Although we were unable to host one team bonding event per month, our team spent lots of time working on and around the farm together, allowing us to build a connection and get to know one another. We practiced open communication across the board by using Teams as our primary platform and setting expectations for ourselves at the beginning of the year. We do plan on registering our calves before the end of April. We had a few different opportunities to attend industry events that exposed us to industry personnel and provided an opportunity for us to market our herd. In hopes to see a growth in the herd size and improvement in cow quality for the future of the unit, our team created and presented a 5-year business expansion proposal. And lastly, we were strategic when pairing members of our team during group work to maximize our student learning experience.
Hello everyone, my name is Brooklyn Van Sickle. I'm from Olds, Alberta, and I'm one of the marketing and Roundup coordinators this year. For our SWOT analysis, our strengths are our diversified backgrounds as we all come from different operations, our unified front, and our industry connections we've created this year. For our weaknesses, we have our small herd size, our high turnover rate as there's a new team of students every year, as well as our large team size. For our opportunities, we have expanding our herd size, the market demand right now in industry, networking in the industry, and the value of industry events we've attended, as well as our threats being diseases and illnesses that could come into play, competition in the industry, social media presence, and the climate and weather in the Vermilion area.
Hello, my name is Tanis Gleiss. I'm from Nanton, Alberta, and I'm one of this year's show team coordinators. For team bonding this semester, we went to the Legion here in Vermilion and had a steak supper. This was a really great opportunity for us as a team to get to know one each other and have better communication within second semester. Our second team bonding event we had was held with the first years. We made up questions about what SMF was about and what we did in our positions. And we put them all in a Kahoot. This was a really fun opportunity for the first years to ask us questions and to get to know SMF. Our last team bonding event we had was a pizza party with the first years held on Tuesday. This was a great opportunity for the first years to come in and ask us questions. One of our goals this year was to connect with the first years, and we did this by having 2 team bonding events in second semester. For show team this semester, we attended the Heartland Cattlemen's Classic in Stettler, Alberta. The Purebred unit showed 3 bulls, and the Stockmen's Club showed 3 heifers. The bulls we showed was OAV Quick Answer 7N, OAV Titleist 13N, and OAV Best Bet 17N. This was a great opportunity for both Stockmen's and Purebred unit to get out, market our animals, and to gain more industry knowledge. Our show expenses for this show was entry fees at Heartland Cattlemen Classic of $820, show supplies that consist of combs, black paint, glue, and neckties at $477.74, hotels that cost $630, trucking to and from Stettler of $220, for a total of just over $2,000.
Hello everyone, my name is Layla Dorko. I'm from Shelburne, Saskatchewan, and I am one of this year's nutrition coordinators alongside Cash. Cash and myself work closely with our advisors, nutritionists, and commercial nutrition coordinator Keely to ensure our cattle are being fed to their full potential. Behind me on the screen is our bull ration. It has a total feeding of 30.5 pounds per head per day at a total cost of $2.31 per head per day. We target a 14% protein level and an average daily gain of 3 to 3.5 pounds per head per day. Then for our pre-calving ration is a total supply of 72.3 pounds per head per day at a total cost of $2.72 per head per day. We provide a pre-calving ration to ensure that we meet their high nutritional requirements heading into calving season.
Good afternoon. My name is Cash Norris, and I am one of this year's nutrition coordinators. This year's heifer ration had a 10.9 crude protein percent and a 55.5% total digestible nutrients. It was fed at 40.3 pounds and costed us a total of $2.35 per head per day. For our flushing ration behind me, we lowered Cody hay to 4 pounds and lowered pea straw to 9 pounds. We also added in barley grain at 3 pounds. This increased our crude protein percent to 11.9 and our total digestible nutrients to 59.6%. We fed this at a total of 38.3 pounds and it cost us a total of $2.31 per head per day. We flush our heifers because when energy is lacking, their repro system is the first thing to go. So by increasing energy right before breeding, we can ensure that their repro is in optimal condition to hopefully increase our conception rate.
Hello to everyone and to my mom watching online. My name is Elpidio Franco Dosal. I'm this year mixed farm coordinator and I come from Córdoba, Mexico, and I'm also one of the repro and genetics coordinators. Here we have our 2025 barley silage map, consisting of 3 fields for a total combine of 422 acres. Even though we only harvested 297, this is due to moisture problems, and this problem will be addressed further by Alisa Rosser on the extensive grazing unit. CDC Durango and Churchill being the varieties we used, as well as these fields were harvested on August the 3rd. We found that one of our biggest problems for our 2025 barley silage harvest was the lack of moisture reducing our yields. For our barley silage quality, we have a 12% crude protein, this being the total protein available in the feed, as well as a 65% total digestible nutrients, these are the nutrients easily accessible for the cattle, a 72% moisture, as well as a 44% neutral detergent fiber. This being a fiber we aim to break via fermentation in silagen. Here we have our 2026 barley silage map, consisting of 2 fields, LC14 and LC18, for a total combine of 255 acres. CDC Durango being the variety we're going to use. And this year we have QR code mixed farm signage. These QR codes will be on the fields, easily accessible for the public, the students, and the industry in general. These QR codes will offer you information as crop variety, seeding dates, seeding rates, days, grazing, and type of SMF herd type.
For the 2026 grazing season, our cow herd will start grazing on LC45 and will later be moved to LC21, where they will remain for the majority of the summer. These 2 fields are indicated by blue stars on the map. Our bred heifers will join commercial's bred heifers and graze LC27 down at the bison land. For the upcoming season, we're projecting to have a total grazing day number of 112. For 40 grazing head at $2.73 per head per day, our total estimated grazing cost comes to just under $12,500. For a further breakdown of this grazing cost, please refer to page 30 in the booklet.
For our gold measures, we have our growth rate at 43% as industry standard indicates. Our current average is 49% and our 5-year average has been 50%. As well as for our debt loss, our industry standard indicates less than 4%. Our current is 12% and our 5-year average has been 13%.
My name is Porto Okoski and I'm the marketing and Roundup coordinator for the Purebred unit this year. For length of calving season, the industry is 63 days, which is 3 breeding cycles. Our current is 66 days with 1 outlier due to calve in June. And the 5-year average is 75 days. For death loss, the industry standard is 4% or less. The current is 6% and the 5-year average is 11%.
Hi, my name is Kira Howrlock and I'm from Chio, Saskatchewan, and I'm one of this year's genetics and reproduction coordinators. When looking at the screen in the top corner, that is our new herd bull, LLB Thunderbird 205M, that we purchased this March alongside the extensive grazing unit. Our team decided to purchase a new herd bull this year due to the one previous having some structural issues. Moving on to our embryos, our team got 10 embryos donated from Kevin Blair of Blair's Egg in Lanigan, Saskatchewan. We got these embryos implanted on April 9th by DRI. Moving on to our semen donations, our team got 92 straws donated from various purebred producers. We would like to thank Hamilton Farms, Select Sires, 3G Cattle Ventures, Resilvia Cattle Co., Greenwood Cattle Co., DNN Livestock, and 6 Mile Ranch. Looking at the bottom corner of the screen, that is 6 Mile Overhaul. Our Red Angus bull, our team decided to purchase 5 straws on to enhance our Red Angus genetics. For a further breakdown of semen and embryos, please reference page 31 in the booklet. For our 2026 breeding plan, our team decided to breed 20 cows and 7 heifers via artificial insemination, 11 cows via our natural walking bull, and 10 cows via embryo transfer. We used a 7-day coasting program on our heifers due to us wanting them to catch in the first cycle. We didn't use a coasting program on our cows due to the cost not being viable for the cost of production. For a further breakdown of semen usage, please reference page 31 in the booklet.
Hello everyone, my name is Brianna Pacharka. I am from Goodsall, Saskatchewan, and I am one of this year's Angus Records and Administration Coordinators. Our herd currently consists of 33 cows, 36 calves, 7 replacement heifers, and 1 walking bull.
Hello everyone, my name is Kennedy Davey. I'm from Strasbourg, Saskatchewan, and I am one of this year's Angus Record and Administrative Coordinators. This year, for our calving season, we had a total of 36 calves born, 23 Black Angus bull calves, 11 Black Angus heifer calves, 1 Red Angus bull calf, and 1 Red Seminole heifer calf that we purchased from Black and Gold to replace one of our deaths. 4 out of the 36 calves were embryo calves, and for deaths, we had 1 set of twins.
We'll be registering our calves in April. We register through the Canadian Angus Association to keep track of genetics and look at EPDs. Our 4 embryo calves will be registered in the upcoming fall.
Another part of our position is using a platform called Herd Tracks to record all our data, like calvings, treatments, weights, and many more. Another change that we made from last semester was creating a health and treatments Excel sheet to keep accurate data as well as keeping the team in the loop. As a team, we decided to weigh our animals every 2 weeks to ensure they stayed on track throughout the year. For our sale bulls, their average current weight was just over 1,300 pounds as of March 25th, with an average daily gain of 3 pounds per day. For our replacement heifers, their average current weight was just over 1,000 pounds as of March 17th, with an average daily gain of 2 pounds per day. The team was very satisfied with their weights throughout this year.
Hello, my name is Tyler Visser. I'm from Stony Plain, Alberta, and I'm this year's Health and Treatment Coordinator. This semester, we treated a total of 7 animals. We treated for retained placenta, 2 calves with scours, a calf with frozen feet, an infected navel, labored breathing, and foot rot. For all the treatments given, we followed our SOPs and VCPR with the Vermilion Vet Clinic. For our preventative care, in February, we gave our bulls and heifers Ultra Boss for prevention and treatment of lice. In March, we repo-scored our heifers, and at the same time, we gave them their pre-breeding vaccines, which were Bovishield FP5 and Ultrabrax 7. In April, we processed our calves, giving them Bovishield Gold 1 shot and Ultrabrax 7. As a team, we still continue to do health checks and treat accordingly to maintain our herd health. For a further breakdown of health and treatment for the full year, please refer to pages 32 to 34.
As previously stated before, we had a very successful Roundup sale this year and would like to extend a huge thank you to everyone who helped us get here, as well as a big thank you to our 2026 buyers. In bold, you'll see the repeat buyers stated behind me.
For marketing this year, we decided to sell OAV First Class 2N to the Northern Select Angus sale. We consigned her because we wanted to market the OAV herd and in hopes to get a return. We'd like to thank Crescent Creek Angus for purchasing her, and also a big thank you to OBI Livestock for letting us consign her. For coal sales this year, we sold 2 steer calves for $3,200, 1 bull calf for $3,900, 2 heifer calves for $3,400, and 4 open heifers for $4,500, 2 cows for $3,300, and 1 2-year-old bull for $3,300. We sold them due to they were open or if they had structure issues that did not meet the requirements for our herd.
Good afternoon. My name is Caitlin Hashi from Regina, Saskatchewan, and I am one of this year's finance coordinators. For our income, we made $122,250 in Roundup sale. We made $45,000 from cull sales, $7,500 from our consignment heifer and $6,000 from Roundup commission, with a total income of $181,888. For income variances, for our Roundup sale, we made $26,000 more than expected, which our team was really proud of due to the fact we were budgeted to sell both bulls and heifers. However, due to the fact of expanding our herd, we only sold bulls. For our call sales, we were $32 over due to the fact of calling more animals than anticipated and high market price. For our Roundup commission, we were over by $600, and our consignment heifer at 75 over due to the fact we were not budgeted to consign a heifer.
Hi, I'm Raina Monroe. I'm from Killarney, Manitoba, and I'm one of this year's finance coordinators for the Purebred team. Starting off, our expenses, our highest is feed and nutrition at just under $50,000. Then our livestock purchases at $20,000 due to buying a bull that we split with the extensive grazing team, along with our embryo calves being priced higher this year than budgeted. And then our deductions at $2,000, and this will be explained later. This gives us a total expense of $133,200 and an overall net profit of $48,600. Moving on to our budget variance, we're over on vet and medical by around $1,600. And then our equipment rental, we were only over $300, being a total of $6,700. And then we're just under on our breeding expense at $5,300. Then for our cost of production, this year we calculated our cost to produce 1 pound of calf at $3.71, and last year was $2.79. This is a 92-cent difference due to being a purebred herd and market prices increasing greatly over the last year. Then our return per pound of calf was $6.47 this year, whereas last year it was $1.94. Please refer to pages 34 to 36 in the booklet for a further breakdown.
For a point of interest, we are over on insurance by $5,000 due to insuring 2 bulls that fall under our year. For deductions, we are over by $1,800 due to calling more animals than expected, as well as our consignment heifers deductions. For feed and nutrition, we are over by $15,000 due to the fact of not using corn in our ration and high input costs.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Nygrens-Bodowski. I'm from Camrose, Alberta, and I'm one of this year's show team coordinators as well as this year's public relations coordinator. This year, both of our social media pages have experienced great uptaking in both viewing and followers, resulting in 200 new followers on our Facebook and over 200 new followers on our Instagram. These numbers trump last year's total new followers of 85 follows on the Facebook page and 15 followers on our Instagram. The current following is as stated: over 2,000 followers on our Facebook page and around 500 followers on our Instagram. Our highest performing posts this year had over 20,000 views and over 300 interactions. The first post to reach this milestone was made on November 20th and was about our pre-breeding vaccinations. The second post to reach this milestone was made on February 6th and was about our Adopt a Calf/Horse program. This program allowed for us to do community outreach in local elementary schools, teaching the next generation about agriculture. All of these number increases play a crucial part in our marketing strategy, allowing us to not only market our herd, but the individuals on our team, Lakeland College, and agriculture as a whole in a positive light.
As the semester comes to a close, our unit has selected 4 recommendations to leave with next year's unit. We recommend that they organize and schedule a multi-unit team bonding at the beginning of the year as an SMF introduction, that they continue to expand the herd size and diversify genetics using embryo transfer and AI programs, that they explore consignment sale opportunities for alternative marketing, and that they establish effective communication within their team and with involved personnel as soon as possible. At this time, the Purebred unit would like to thank New Holland Agriculture, Austin Partington, the senior leadership team and ag leadership team, Paul Leroy and the rest of the farm staff crew, all of our subcommittee advisors and unit SMF advisors, and everyone else that has helped contribute to our success this year. We'd now like to open the floor to any questions. Erica? Yeah, so the question's regarding our statement that our social media following has increased, but we do state it as a threat in our SWOT analysis. I'll pass this to our PR coordinator, Kaylee.
So the threat of social media presence does come with any sort of farm, especially being that there's such a negative idea of agriculture in some areas. So with the increase that we've done, we've really pushed the positive side and what we're doing to be sustainable and to really educate the public about agriculture and what this college is doing to teach us and the next generations how to be more sustainable. Does this answer your question?
So the question was regarding our commission and our income. I'll pass this to one of our finance coordinators, Caitlin.
What is the commission in the income? So it's due to the fact Purebred takes the responsibility of paying for the entire Roundup sale, and it's just to help offset the cost from the other units paying us a little bit. Does that answer your question? It makes it easier on finance team to just charge one unit instead of having to split it all through every unit. Does that help?
Erica. Yes, the question was our high open rate and what we're talking about that and how we're going to mitigate in the future. I'll pass this to one of our repro and genetics coordinators, Franco.
So our high open rates is due to our small herd size, but we are already working on using more artificial insemination and embryo transfer programs to focus on getting our genetics and getting our herd a little bit bigger and get better numbers. Does that answer your question? Well, we had a little problem with last year's bull that wasn't really performing the way it was. So due to our small herd, it looks like a big number, but we're not as bad and we're getting it better. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you to the Purebred Beef Unit for their time and knowledge today. We are now going to be taking a 15-minute intermission. There will be cookies and beverages available in the cafeteria. To get there, just head out the doors, down the hallway, and take a left. Enjoy the break, and we'll see you back here in 15 minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a chance to stretch your legs and are ready for more presentations. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure to meet yet, my name is Shelby Bent, and I'm from Peace River, Alberta, and I'm excited to be stepping into the role of General Manager for the Extensive Grazing and Bison Unit for the 2026-2027 year. Now, I would like to call up this year's Extensive Grazing and Bison Unit for their presentation. Good afternoon. My name is Kennedy Mooley. I'm from Concert, Alberta, and I'm the General Manager for the 2025-2026 Extensive Grazing and Bison Unit. This year, our team consisted of 9 members, which means we all had to take on multiple roles within the unit to share the workload. Our mission statement is to sustainably manage our pasture lands through extensive, low-maintenance production systems. We can do this by focusing on strong maternal herds, soil health, animal welfare, education, and learning. Last year's team left us the following recommendations: to compare range assessments year over year, explore water excess on LCP 29, semen test the bison bulls, and complete genetic testing on the bison herd for breed composition. So far this year, we have achieved exploring water excess on LCP 29 by creating a waterer proposal. We are still awaiting the results from this proposal. We also accomplished comparing range assessments year over year by collecting historical data and finding points where we could improve. The recommendations we are leaving for next year's team are to use the same photographer and videographer for the Roundup sale for the beef herd as we did this year, because we really enjoyed the quality of their content and how fast they got it back to us. We also recommend they look into buying a new bison bull to source new genetics throughout the herd, and that they look into buying cheaper bison feed. We suggest this because due to the bison advantage, they have a longer ruminant retention time, and it allows them to get the same amount of nutrients through lower quality forage. At the beginning of the year, we sat down and created some short-term and long-term goals. Our short-term goals are more deliberate pasture distribution by increasing grazing resources such as cross-fencing and watering systems, and to utilize these grazing resources to get a greater amount of grazing days. Our long-term goals are to work towards healthier pastures through consistent assessments, and we can utilize things such as the Alberta Tame Forage assessments to help us with this goal. We also want to improve herd genetics in the beef herd, and we can do this by focusing on solid feet and leg structure, calving ease, and feed efficiency. Lastly, we would like to improve public education and awareness, and we can do this by participating in programs such as Adopt a Calf, as well as by doing school tours.
My name is Alyssa Rosser. I'm from Sturgeon County, Alberta, and I'm this year's Mixed Farm Coordinator and Data Analyst. Right now, I will be walking you through our unit SWOT analysis. Some of our strengths are team dynamics. Due to our smaller unit size, it allows us to grow closer and develop better friendships. We have lower input costs from the amount of time we graze, and we have a great relationship with the research team, which allows us to take part in trials and research to better understand our animals. Some of our weaknesses are less workload distribution due to our unit size, undesirable traits such as horns in our beef calves, and a reliance on external help such as farm team to move our animals. Some of our opportunities are market diversification due to us having 2 different types of animals, high market prices, and a commercial market access. Some of our threats are drought and weather conditions in the area, instability in the market to come, and uncertainty in our bison history due to it being a donated herd.
Hi, my name is Ashley Giesbrecht. I live in Wainwright, Alberta, and I'm this year's Records and Secretary Coordinator. So for this year, our beef herd is a mix between Angus and Hereford. We have 1 bull, 44 cows, 8 bred heifers, and 5 replacement heifers. For the key performance indicators, industry standard for growth rate is 43% of the dam's weight. For our herd, it was 42%. For open rate, it should be under 4%. For our herd, it was 4.6%. Length of calving season should be 63 days. For our herders, 58 days. And death loss should be under 4%. We had a 0%. For the bison herd this year, they're mixed between woods and plains. We have 5 bulls, 88 cows, 9 bred heifers, and 5 replacement heifers. For the key performance indicators, industry standard for growth rate is 450 pounds for an 8-month-old bull and 400 pounds for an 8-month-old heifer. For our herd this year, we had 450 pounds for an 8-month-old bull and 395 pounds for an 8-month-old heifer. Open rate should be under 10%. We had a 6.9%. Length of calving season is from May to June. Ours went from May 8th to July 31st due to a late calver. And death loss should be under 4%. We had a 1%.
Hello again. For my mixed farm position, I will be explaining what happened with AL01. Last year, there was a decision to plant fall rye as a cover crop. While fall rye can be a beneficial cover crop, it also has a high moisture requirement. Due to this coinciding with a period of drought in the region, when we went into spring and planted the barley, the soil moisture reserves were low. Due to this lack of moisture, the barley struggled to establish strong roots and led to a lower quantity and quality. Due to this, there was a decision to bale 117 bales off of AL01. Due to this and a decision to have an early cut on the field, when our cows went out on regrowth in September, there was a problem with barley awns getting stuck in the mouths of our cows, as seen in these pictures. Because it was a barbed awn variety and it had matured too quickly, that is what caused our problems. This will be touched further on by our health coordinator, Adam.
Hello, I'm Adam Martz. I'm from Sedgwick, Alberta, and I'm this year's Beef, Health, and Nutrition Coordinator. So, this year, we had pneumonia in 8 of our calves, and we decided to treat that with Draxxin. We believe that pneumonia was due to the dry conditions they were in, as well as some stress from mixing herds. We also had some foot issues, such as poor conformation and laminitis. We treated 28C with Draxxin, and then later ended up trimming her feet, which I will address on the next slide. And that was just multiple calves throughout our herd. We had the barley awns stuck in the mouths of our cows due to the barley awns maturing too quick, due to the dry conditions. And that was all of our cows grazing regrowth barley, and we removed the awns from a few of them. We had lump jaw, which is a condition, in this case, where the jaw gets infected and has a bony growth, and it is not curable, so we decided to call the bull that got that, which was 60K Showtime. We had laminitis in 2 of our cows and 1 of our bulls, and we trimmed the feet of the 2 cows and called the bull. The cows were 6G, 28C as mentioned, and 262K Lilybrook. We also had a hematoma, which is a condition where when an animal gets struck on a joint, sometimes it can cause fluid buildup below the skin, and that usually does not require any treatment, so we just observed her, and she recovered well, and that was 306N. We also scour guarded our Roundup heifers, and that's a vaccine that prevents scours, and we treated all of our animals with Ivomec, which helps with parasites such as worms and lice. We also used Bosporon on our replacement heifers and sale heifers, and that does the same thing. And we treat all of our calves with Vita First. For more information, please refer to page 41 in the booklet. On this year, we started grazing barley regrowth in LC12 as well as AL01 and the lease land. We also had a swath grazing trial where they were grazing oats and a polyculture mix. We've had some hay bales supplementarily on LC2 while they were awaiting preg checking, as well as to go to LCP27 for the bale grazing over the winter, which I will touch on in the next slide. And we had 17 heifers on a greenhouse gas trial, and I will go over that ration later. We also had 9 bred heifers in a pen while they were awaiting the Roundup sale. The bale grazing happened on LCP27, and they were consuming roughly 2 bales per day. The cost on that was $3.21 per head per day. Please refer to page 41 of the booklet for information on how I got that price. They cleaned it up fairly well. The utilization was acceptable to us, and we moved them once a week. For a heifer ration, the quantity there I have is estimated because that is an average between all our animals. And we fed them hay, barley silage, pea straw, canola meal, 1935 mineral, and salt. And the total cost on that was $1.18 per head per day.
Hello everyone, my name is Habib Mustafa Khan. I am from Hyderabad, India, and I am this year's Health and Nutrition Coordinator for the Bison unit. For health this year, we treated and vaccinated our bison herd with ivermectin for pyrethroid control, Vision 8 for clostridial diseases, and Bovashield Gold 5 for respiratory diseases. We used Wrangle 5 instead of Bovashield Gold 5 on our pregnant cows due to risk of abortion. Unfortunately, this year, we had to make some tough but necessary animal welfare decisions. We had to euthanize 2 of our bison cows. One was very lame, and another one had a low body condition score. We had to euthanize 2 of our bison bulls, 1 bull calf and 1 mature bull for a confirmed broken leg. For nutrition this year, our main feed was 2024 Heinz hay supported by green feed oats to provide additional nutrients. We provided Northern Bison Mineral free choice to ensure proper mineral intake. Overall, our total feed cost was $3.92 per head per day. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jerome Valdez. I am from Purebred, Alberta, and I am the Research and Facilities Coordinator this year. We did 3 trials with the Applied Research Team, and we had 1 upcoming trial in the summer. The 3 trials is a swath grazing trial, the bison e-collar trial, the greenhouse gas trial, and the upcoming trial in the summer is the BOVMB trial. We participate in these trials so we can gather important information on our herd, so we can later use to select replacements and gather important and to make management decisions. We have 2 years ago, we received a generous $150,000 donation from Ken Wasmuth for the intended purpose of renovating our bison facility. We purchased a refurbished bison chute from Berlinic, and this allows us to explore semen testing in the bison bulls, as well as it helps us streamline efficiency and improve handler safety with the bison facility.
Hi, my name is Cassidy Thick. I'm from Swift Current, Saskatchewan, and I am this year's Range and Forage Coordinator. This year, our summer grazing cost is $2.73 per head per day, while our aftermath grazing cost is $1.50 per head per day. This year, for our beef herd, we'll be grazing 52 cow-calf pairs, 14 heifers for a total of 200 days, and 3 bulls for a total of 63 days. This is estimated to cost us just under $32,000. Behind me is a map of the paddocks our beef herd will be rotationally grazing this summer. These paddocks are set up with the razor grazer and are 100% temporary and portable. The smaller paddocks are 15 to 20 acres and can hold our herd for 3 to 5 days, while the larger paddocks are 40 to 50 acres and can hold our herd for 5 to 7 days. As mentioned before, the summer grazing cost is $2.73 per head per day. This year, our bison herd will be grazing 96 cow-calf pairs, 5 heifers, and 5 bulls for a total of 199 days. This is estimated to cost us just under $58,000. This year, our bison will be grazing these paddocks. The amount of time spent in each paddock is calculated using estimated forage productions and the daily consumption of our herd. Please refer to page 43 and 44 in the booklet for a further cost breakdown for both of our herds.
Hi, I'm Nicole Nenzi, and I'm this year's Marketing and Roundup Coordinator. And this year, we performed multiple break-evens. One of our break-even points was for our beef replacement heifers, and their purchasing price is predicted to be just over $4,000. This year, we also sold our bison calves. Our bison bulls went for $5.91 per pound, and our bison heifers went for $4.90 per pound. We decided to go through auction versus private treaty because we saw the bison market heightening and wanted to take our chances with auction. This table represents our beef replacement heifers. Our net profit per head is predicted to be $111, and we got this number by taking total expected purchasing price subtracted by total expected expenses. Our projected sale price is $4,023, and this number helps us decide how many replacement heifers we can keep. This table behind me represents the bison bull break-even outcomes. Our total expected sale price is $2,442, and our actual sale price is $2,649. This table behind me represents our break-even bison heifer outcomes. Our expected sale price was $1,786, and our actual sale price was $1,960. For Roundup this year, we had a total of 9 bred heifers in the sale. Our lot average was $6,860, and our high selling lot went for $7,200. This year we had a repeat buyer, Jay St. Clair, and we would like to thank everybody who participated in the Roundup.
Hello, my name is Veronica King, and I'm from Camrose, Alberta, and I'm the finance coordinator for both our herds. First up, I have our beef herd, herd's income. Our three biggest incomes this year were from our steer calves at just over $108,000, our bred heifers at just under $62,000, and our cull cows at just over $13,500. Our total income this year was just under $200,000. Next up is our budget variance. As you can see, most of the items here are over budget. However, on our cull cows, we're under budget just by around $3,000. And you may also notice on bull rental, we also have a budget item of 0. This is just because it had not been put on the budget. Also, please refer to page 44 in your booklet for our beef herd's income. Next up, I have our expenses. Please refer to page 45 in the booklet. Our 3 biggest expenses were, our feed expenses at just under $49,000, our grazing at just under $18,000, and our bull purchase at $10,000. Our total expenses this year was $105,000, and this section that's called Other is just everything that costs $5,000 and less. It's all broken down in the booklet, however, so please refer to there. Next up, I have the variance budget. Here you can see we are over budget on a few things. This includes our feed expenses, equipment rental, corral cleaning, vet and medical, semen testing, and our bull purchase. However, all of these expenses are relatively low except for our feed, which were over by a bit, while I'll explain in our points of interest. Now we have our financial summary. Last year, it cost them to produce a pound of calf, $2.80. This year, it cost us $2.85, which is a difference of only 5 cents. Some of the reasons for this are higher feed costs, higher pasture costs, and a slightly higher marketing and trucking cost. Now for our our net profit, we made just under $95,000. And finally, for our beef herd, I have our points of interest. First, our feed costs and why they're so high. This is because feed costs went up significantly more than we had participated, and we also had to pay for our heifers on trial. Next up is why our vet and medical costs are a bit over. This is because we have already purchased some oral supplement for our calves that are about to be born in May, as well as we had to pay for 2 cows getting their hoofs trimmed, which was not expected. And finally, we have our cull cows and why we're under budget for them. This is because we sold 4 instead of the expected 7. Some reasons for this are because we had less opens than expected, as well as we didn't hard cull any this year. Now I have our bison herd. Please refer to page 46 in your booklet for both income and expenses. Our 3 biggest incomes this year were from our bull calves at just over $124,000, our heifer calves at just over $33,500, and our cull cows at just over $25,000. And our total income this year was $241,000. Next, to our variance of budget. We're over budget for all of them, meaning we have a surplus and didn't just meet the expectation but surpassed it. However, you may notice that we have a zero budgeted item for bulls. I will explain as of why in my points of interest. Now I have our expenses. Our three biggest expenses for our bison herd were grazing at just over $42,000, hay at just under $39,000, and green feed at just under $11,000. Our total expenses were $123,000. Next is the variance to budget. We also have some over budget items this year. This includes our equipment rental, grazing, straw, and sale deductions. Though two of these items, you may notice that they're budgeted zero. This includes sale deductions, which I will mention in my points of interest, as well as straw. As to why is because we do not feed straw to our bison herd as it is unsuccessful. However, we did use it for bedding this year. Now I have our financial summary. To produce a pound of calf last year, it cost them $2.91, and this year it cost us $3.16. There's only a difference of 25 cents. Some reasons for this is because we decided to keep back 5 replacement heifers compared to the 0 last year, as well as we had slightly higher feed costs and grazing costs, and some miscellaneous production costs were also different. Now for our net profit, we made just under $118,000. And lastly, points of interest. First is our grazing costs and why it's over budget. This is because we ended up grazing longer than expected. This is because it didn't snow as soon as we thought. We did try, however, to feed them, but they did not take the feed as they would rather graze while there was no snow. Next up is sale deductions. It is a non-budget item because we don't always sell to an auction that makes us pay commission like we did this year, compared to last year, for example, when we sold at private treaty. And finally, our bull sales was also a zero budgeted item. This is because last year had not predicted us to sell bulls. However, we took this as an opportunity cost to sell some older bulls and bring in new genetics next year.
I'm also this year's reproduction coordinator. For our beef herd this year, we had the opportunity to purchase LLB Thunderbird 205M in conjunction with the Purebred unit. This year, we will be using 3 Black Angus bulls. This decision was made to keep our calf crop at the ideal breed composition of 75% Black Angus and 25% Hereford. These 2 other bulls will be sourced from the Purebred commercial team. This year, our bulls will be out for a total of 63 days from July 23rd until September 24th, 2026, and our heifers will be pulled after 42 days to allow for selection of the highest fertility animals. This year, we decided to keep 14 replacement heifers. These heifers were selected based on dam and sire information, temperament, RFI score, overall conformation, overall conformation, and they will be called, open heifers will be called in the fall to allow the herd to retain the highest fertility animals. As for our bison this year, bison are seasonal breeders, so breeding season runs from July until September. This year we had the opportunity to cull 3 bulls, bringing our current bull to cow ratio to 19 cows for every 1 bull. This year, that means we have a total of 5 breeding bulls. We also decided to keep a total of 5 replacement heifers, although they will not be reproductively mature until next breeding season.
I'm also the Beef Public Relations Coordinator. As I previously mentioned, one of our long-term goals was to increase public education and awareness. We did this through participating in the Adopt a Calf program, where a local grade 2 class adopted the black heifer in the picture on the screen and named it Oreo Protein Shake. Since then, I have been sending our PR advisor bi-weekly updates on how the calf is doing so that she can forward them to the class. We also participated in multiple school tours throughout the year, where we led groups through the Red Barn, answered their question, and let them pet the calves. This year, our team participated in 4 team bonding events. We had dinner at Delicious Bites in town in the fall as an icebreaker. We went ice breaking we went axe throwing also in the fall. We played dodgeball when we returned to school in January, and we had an Easter egg hunt where we invited some of the first year animal science, livestock, and beef students to get to know some of the people that might be on our team next year a little bit more. We were also lucky enough this year to go on a field trip to the Wild Rose Bison Convention, where we spent 2 days networking and getting to know more about the bison industry. On our Instagram this year, since September 1st, we have gained 99 new followers and had a reach of 5.8 thousand. Our top performing post is a carousel of pictures from when we pulled bulls in the fall. On our Facebook this year, we gained 34 new followers and had a reach of 17.1 thousand. Our top performing post is from one of our school tours.
I'm also the Bison Public Relations Coordinator this year. We had 89 new followers, as well as a reach of 1,900. Our highest viewed post is us bison pregnant checking and processing. And for the Facebook page, we had 20 new followers and a reach of 520. Our highest viewed post is us at the Bison Convention.
We would now like to extend our thanks to New Holland Agriculture, our advisor Erica Moore, senior leadership, Paul, Jaden, and the rest of farm team, as well as everybody else that has helped us out throughout the year. And we will now open the floor for questions. Yes. The question was regarding the amount of heifers we're going to keep and rebreed for the sale next year, and I'll hand this to our reproduction coordinator, Cassidy.
Yeah, so we kept a total of 14 heifers this year, and of course we'll be culling the opens in the fall, and we're planning to put between 6 to 9 in the sale, dependent on our herd open rate in the fall. Does this answer your question?
Yes. The question was regarding extending our grazing days throughout the year, and I'll hand this to our range and forage coordinator, Cassidy.
Yes, so we have been using and looking into some of the strategies used on some of our research trials, such as swath grazing, to extend the amount of grazing days, as well as our rotational grazing does extend our grazing days and would be longer if there was higher forage production. Does this answer your question?
Yes. The question is regarding the prediction of the bison market for next year, and I'll give this to our marketing coordinator, Nicole.
Based off the past 3 years, I would think that it would be relatively still high, but then again, the bison market is unpredictable. If the beef market is high, I will predict that the bison market will be high, as I think bison is often a substitute for beef. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, Extensive Grazing and Bison Unit. My name is Jordana Brandt. I'm from Blumenort, Manitoba, and I will be taking over the General Manager position of the Equine Unit in 2026-2027. I would now like to call up the Equine Unit for their final presentation.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Equine Student Managed Farm final presentation. My name is Lindsay Edwards. I'm from Fort St. John, BC, and I'm the General Manager for the 2025-2026 Equine Unit. Our team has 18 outstanding members from all across Canada. Although we come from diverse backgrounds, we all share the same passion for advancing our horsemanship and skills in the industry. Our vision is to produce, select, and train quality quarter horses with excellent conformation and disposition in an economically sustainable format. Our current herd inventory includes 6 registered quarter horse mares that have all confirmed in full, as well as 5 colts that we have pre-purchased for next year's colt starting team. We look forward to having these colts started in the fall. Our team has set short-term and long-term goals to guide us when making decisions throughout the year. Our short-term goals include host monthly team bonding events with our SMF team, handle the broodmares and next year's colts that are on campus for over 1 hour each week, and create engaging content to share on our social media pages to strengthen our online audience. Our long-term goals include maintain economically sustainable feed rations that support our horses' nutritional requirements, implement a stallion selection criteria to use as a guide when choosing stallions, and produce versatile all-around colts that bring success to our annual Roundup sale. Last year's team had left us with some recommendations. Those were to sell all weanlings before October 31st, maintain and develop new industry connections, start a mentorship program with the first-year equine students, and prioritize profitable traits when purchasing colts. Our team has successfully completed all of these recommendations. Our team has also successfully sold 5 colts in the annual Roundup sale, had each of our broodmares confirm in full, chosen stallions to rebreed our mares to, and pre-purchased 5 colts for next year's colt starting team.
Hi, I'm Riot Berry. I'm from Darwell, Alberta, and I'm this year's barn and SOP manager. Each colt was rode for 2 hours a day, compared to industry standards of 1 hour per day. Our sale average for our 3-year-old colts sold in the Roundup sale was $17,875, compared to industry standards of $17,200. For our broodmares, our conception rate was 100%, compared to industry standards of 60 to 70%. Our live foal rate was also 100%, compared to industry standards of 60 to 73%. However, only 50% of our foals survived until weaning, compared to 90 to 95%. My job as barn manager is to ensure the barn stays safe, clean, and professional. This includes completing my own set list of chores each week and organizing barn cleanups. We had 6 this year, and all were successful. I also oversaw the first-year chores of the SMF colts to ensure they are being properly cared for. In my SOP role, I review and update them to ensure everything runs smoothly.
Hi, my name is Ariane Tournon-Lavoie. I'm from Quebec Laval, and I am this year a QHA Records and Secretary. Our team has completed a SWOT analysis to identify our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats within our unit. Our strengths are high-quality colt, diverse discipline background throughout our unit, and consistent and engaging market tailored to our product. Our weaknesses includes lack of training availability due to weekends and holidays, varying level of experience within our team, and a high foal mortality rate. Our opportunity includes 2 new broodmare in the broodmare band, potential colt sale premiums, and access to mentors and industry connections. Our threats includes disease and injury, high medical cost, and industry competition. As the EQHC record, my job is to ensure that every transcript, registration, and transfer papers are completely completed and kept up to date. For example, this year's full names registration are Jinx Ivory and LC Circle Gun Steer. As the secretary, I make sure to take every minute during every meeting to keep accurate records.
Hi, my name is Sheena Louie. I'm from Costin, BC, and I'm this year's range and forage coordinator. Here we have our projected cost for over the summer for both of our herds. For our broodmares, we have a projected cost of $1,605.24. This is for 6 broodmares grazing for 98 days at a cost of $2.73 per head per day. As for our colts, we have a projected cost of $2,006.55. This is for 7 colts grazing for 105 days at a cost of $2.73 per head per day. For a look at our proposed grazing plan and paddock map, please refer to page 53 in your booklet. I'm also the mixed farm coordinator. This year, we were given the task of working on land classification for the college, which is the breakdown of land units based on their soil characteristics, climate, and topography to determine their suitability for sustainable agricultural production. It is broken down into 7 classes, with Class 1 representing the highest capability for crops with no limitations, while Class 7 represents no capability for arable culture or permanent pasture. The main purpose of this was to aid in planning, identifying any potential problems that we may run into, and identifying the appropriate land use.
Hello, my name is Hunter Schmann. I'm from Clavet, Saskatchewan, and I'm this year's Trading Records Coordinator. Our colts finished the year with an average of 108 rides by sale day. This semester, they completed benchmarks such as roping cows with and without a breakaway Honda, working the flag, and showcasing the colts to the public leading up to the Roundup sale. I'm also this year's Team Bonding Coordinator. This semester, we did 2 dodgeball nights, a Wii Sports night, and we went on a field trip to 2C Ranching and Sandy Ridge Stallion Station.
Hi, my name is Lakeland Cormus. I'm from Onaway, Alberta, and I'm this year's Breeding and Reproduction Coordinator. For our foal crop, we had a high weanling mortality rate, which was due to 1 foal being born with neonatal maladjustment syndrome and another one that died at 2 weeks old of an unknown cause. We believe these issues were due to nutritional deficiencies in our mares. This year we fed iodized salt, free choice mineral, and high-quality hay to hopefully mitigate these issues. My role this semester involved navigating picking stallions to breed to our broodmares. We chose to breed to the stallions Would Be Stunning, Autumn Stars, DC Pick a Sweet Mister, and Jazz Up My Dooley. We believe they will complement our mares nicely and produce foals that fit our vision.
My name is Julia Laundrie. I'm from Quesnel, BC, and I'm this year's health coordinator. This is our semester overview of our health expenses for both our colt and broodmares so far. Our colt expenses include the farrier at $1,926, vaccines at $1,133, and prior to the sale, all of our colts went through a pre-purchase exam, which cost $855. One of our geldings required both hock injections and x-rays, which came to a total of $1,237, for a complete semester expense of $5,151. All of our broodmares were preg checked in November, and once confirmed in full, we administered the pneumabort vaccine at the 5th, 7th, and 9th month of gestation. This cost $561. Our broodmares have seen the farrier once this semester, which costs $330. We have a semester medical expense of $338, as one broodmare required a cassock removal, and we have an injured broodmare that requires daily care. Our semester expense for our broodmares is $1,229. The daily care required by our broodmare, Lura Olina, includes cold hosing every day for 15 minutes, let dry for 30, apply green wound cream to a telfa pad, and secure with a standing wrap. For a complete breakdown of our entire year health expense, please consult your booklet.
Hi, my name is Abby Nelson. I'm from Warner, Alberta, and I'm this year's feed manager. Our colts ration included Timothy grass hay, Hoffman's Elite ration, premium grain beet pulp, Hoffman's mineral, and a cobalt salt block, resulting in a total cost per head per day of $5.46. The ration displayed on the screen is what 4 out of 5 of our colts were being fed, as one of our colts did not require any extra supplementation, therefore was just being fed hay, mineral, and salt. As for our broodmares, their ration included Timothy grass hay, Hoffman's mineral, and iodized salt, resulting in a total cost per head per day of $7.89. This ration is what 5 out of 6 of our mares were being fed, as one of our mares is in the barn full time. Please see page 54 in the booklet for the breakdown of her ration.
Hello, my name is Peyton Yurkowski. I'm from Tofield, Alberta, and I'm one of this year's Roundup coordinators. The Equine unit had 5 lots in our annual Roundup sale that took place on March 28, 2026. This was a record sale for our team with an average of $16,200 and 2 new high sellers at $19,000 and $20,000. I would like to thank our buyers, Mike and Haley Ost, Jane Stafford, Daniel Shalafu, Cami Bowers, and Stephanie Turple for their purchases and support of the Lakeland College and our SMF team. These horses sold for a total of $81,000.
Hello, my name is Jamie Pennick. I'm from Elnora, Alberta, and I'm this year's Public Relations Coordinator. This year, we have seen successful growth across both of our social media pages. We had a 6% increase of followers on Facebook and a 30% increase on Instagram. The charts behind me show the demographics of our audience across each platform. On Facebook, our top audience is comprised of 25 to 34-year-olds and 18 to 24-year-olds on Instagram. We also experimented with uploading our Roundup sale videos to the official Lakeland College YouTube channel, where we hope they will be easier to find in the coming years.
Good afternoon, my name is Haley Ost. I'm from Medicine Hat, Alberta, and I'm this year's PR program.
Good afternoon, my name is Meadow Parthene. I am from St. Rose, Manitoba, and I am this year's PR marketer.
We strive as a team to get top-notch content for our viewers to see. On our Facebook, our most liked video was when we visited 2C Ranches and Sandy Ridge Stallion Station. This post got 145 likes, 2 comments, 8 shares, and gained us 29 new followers.
These roles were important for creating high-quality, engaging content that showcased our colts and our unit throughout the year. The post behind me holds the highest engagement of our colt posts on Facebook. This was a thank you to our buyers from the Roundup sale. The post had a total of 19,992 views, 218 interactions, and gained us 8 new followers.
As for our Instagram page, our most liked video was a day in the life of a colt starter. This post got 233 likes, 2 shares, and gained us 6 new followers.
Our Instagram post with the highest engagement of our colt posts was the same thank you to our buyers from the Roundup sale. This post had a total of 10,807 views, 341 interactions, and gained us 1 new follower.
Hi, my name is Montana Rushton. I'm from Lashburn, Saskatchewan, and I'm this year's videographer and photographer for PR. PR has been busy capturing content of our team to document our journey throughout the year. This semester, we went to St. Jerome's here in Vermilion, where we did adopt a colt. The kindergarten class picked Capone, grade 1 picked AJ, grade 2 picked Jack, and grade 5 picked Chubbs. By doing this adopt a colt program, it lets us interact and communicate with the public as well as educate them on our program.
Good afternoon, my name is Emily Gafka. I'm from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and I am this year's ranch event coordinator. On March 21st, 2026, we held our ranch scramble alongside with an open and novice cow horse event. Across all 3 events, we had attendance of 75 competitors and packed stands full of spectators. Our payout for our ranch event was split of $10,500. Our payout for our novice cow horse event was a split of $285, and our open cow horse event was a split of $965. We also had a concession on site that helped contribute to our profit of $834. Our team believes this event was a success and would like to send a thank you out to everybody who attended.
Hi, my name is Anastasia Helder, and I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I'm in charge of this year's colt finances. This year, we had a total income from our colts of $85,234. $81,000 of this came from selling our 5 colts in the annual Roundup sale. $3,400 came from selling 2 extra horses in 2025, and the remainder was income from our ranch scramble event. We were budgeted a total amount of $55,000 for income and exceeded this budget by roughly $30,000. This year, we spent a total of about $68,000. $42,500 of this fell under livestock purchases, about $7,500 in vet and medical expenses, and about $5,500 in feed expenses. To see a more detailed breakdown of our expenses, please refer to page 56 in your booklet. We were budgeted a total amount of $47,820 for expenses and were over budget by about $20,000. We were over budget in livestock purchases by $19,000 and over in vet and medical expenses by about $3,800. To see a more detailed breakdown of our budget, please also refer to page 56 in your booklet.
Good afternoon, my name is Kayleen Craker. I'm from Gilbert Plains, Manitoba, and I'm in charge of broodmare finances. This year we made $2,600 in total income from our broodmares. This is from the sale of our 2 weanlings. We were budgeted $12,800 in weanling sales. Of that, we made $2,600. Our expenses for this semester are just over $19,000. $3,950 fell into stud fees, $3,900 into vet and medical, and $1,427 for corral cleaning. For a more detailed breakdown, refer to page 57 in your booklet. We were budgeted $18,300 for expenses. We went over budget in vet and medical by $1,400. We stayed within budget in mare care by $1,200. And we went over budget in stud fees by $800. For a more detailed breakdown, refer to page 57 in your booklet.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlize Holmes. I'm from Olds, Alberta, and I am this year's finance coordinator. The average cost of production per colt sold is $9,731. The difference between the cost of production this year and last year is just under $9,300. The average cost of production per weanling sold this year is $6,079. The difference between the cost of production this year and last year is just under $2,600. The colt enterprise had a net profit of over $17,300, and the broodmare enterprise had a net loss of just under $16,800. Overall, the equine unit has a net profit of $528. There are several points of interest related to our finances this year. First, high vet and medical costs. This trend is seen across both the colt and broodmare enterprises and is mainly due to injuries sustained by the horses. We are over budget in livestock purchases due to pre-purchasing colts for next year's team. These costs normally fall into the next accounting cycle. The differences seen between our cost of productions this year and last year is mainly due to differences between the number of horses raised or trained compared to those sold.
As our year comes to an end, we would like to leave some recommendations for next year's team. That is to improve the genetics in the broodmare band, explore selling weanlings through a weanling-specific sale, and begin advertising the weanlings earlier, soon after they are born. Our team would like to thank New Holland Agriculture, senior leadership, our advisors and farm staff, Tracy Quinton, Darla Stepanek, and so many more for their support and guidance throughout the year. The floor is now open for questions. Marisa? Right, so the number is about our sale average. I'm going to hand this question over to our finance coordinator, Shirley's.
The industry average was taken from the average sale prices of 3-year-old colts from both Canadian Horses to Move on Facebook and the North Country Select Horse Sale. Does that answer your question?
Right, so the question is, why did we have a low weanling survival rate? I will hand this to our reproductive coordinator, Lakeland.
We had a low weanling survival rate due to nutritional deficiencies in the mares and them being fed hay that was grown with a soil deficiency. To mitigate this, we fed iodized salt, free choice mineral, and high quality hay, as well as we have done some blood tests on some of the mares to identify if they still have any nutritional deficiencies, but we didn't find any. Does this answer your question?
Right, so the question was about our high vet costs due to injuries. I will hand this over to our health coordinator, Julia.
So because most of the costs we incurred with our vet costs were accidental, the broodmare that has incurred those costs, we are recommending for our next year's team to cull that mare due to more than just that factor, but it will hopefully reduce that vet cost in the future if it becomes a prolonged injury. And then for our colt, we purchased him unknowing of the vet costs that would incur due to the juvenile arthritis that he ended up having developed. So we're just encouraging that the next year's teams, when looking at colts, go through a pre-purchase exam before purchasing these colts. Does this answer your question?
Thank you, Equine Unit, for your presentation.
We would now like to thank the following people for their help this year: Chris Lehman, Crystal Pulick, Madison Smith, Cassidy Dreger, Megan Casson, Paul DeHoy, Bailey Halus, Jaden Kramer, and Justin Kane.
We would also like to thank faculty members Amy Stanley, Nadine Farkash, Marissa Sturkenboom, Erica Moore, Austin Partington, Kyle Hafner, Jessica Emmett, Bailey Haberly, and Matt Rustemeyer.
We would also like to thank the marketing department of Lakeland College for their provided guidance and assistance to market all the units. We would also like to thank the staff of the Information Technology Department, including Liam Lawrence, who ensures that the audio-visual equipment is working and facilitates the online broadcast.
A big thank you to Denise Martin and Tricia Mecker for their help throughout the year, as well as the Administration of Ag Sciences, Dean Tracy Quinton, Associate Dean Darla Stepanek, and Chair Bevan Hamilton. I would now like to call on Tracy Quinton, the Dean of Agricultural Sciences, for a few remarks.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's offer another round of applause for this wonderful presentation that these students did. And I don't want to keep you very long, but I do want to show our appreciation for the faculty and staff that go above and beyond for the student-managed farm. It doesn't go unnoticed and unrecognized. We appreciate all the extra effort that these faculty and staff put into making sure that student-managed farm is a successful venture for students and for the college. So give a round of applause for those individuals. And lastly, I just want to recognize, and the first years have done an excellent job, all the other individuals that are behind the scenes that make sure Student Managed Farm can happen, from marketing to IT to senior leadership, and the support that they give the Student Managed Farm. So a round of applause for them to show our appreciation. And encourage you to, I know most of you all have plans for tonight, encourage you to have some fun, enjoy yourself, but remember you have school tomorrow still, and final exams are coming up. So congratulations once again, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow in the hallways.